Okay, welcome to MAT 103, Section 5. That's plane trigonometry. This is the online version, which you probably already know. So I'm Corwin Stanford. I'm the instructor. All the videos here feature me, so I guess if you watch those, you'll see me. Thank you for being patient while I try to deal with Canvas. It's a big switch. A lot of things I've kind of gotten lost in the shuffle, but hopefully everything's taken care of now. So what I want to do today is kind of walk you through what our course looks like in Canvas. I want to log you into my lab and mastering, or my math lab, which is where all of your work will be done. And I want to go over the syllabus, and that should be it. So let's see how quickly we can do this. If you have any questions about anything, please just call me. That's the easiest way to get in touch with me. But I try to cover everything in these videos, but I understand that that's never actually the case. There's always some gaps left to fill. So you can, on your course homepage, you can read about me if you want, but I want to start with the syllabus. Oops. Come on now. And there we go. There's us. So you've got my contact info right off the top, my office number and my cell phone number. Obviously, you call my cell when I'm not in my office. I know a lot of y'all are overseas. I always really like to teach this class because people from all over the world take it. Last year I had students in Israel and Japan, and it's just very exciting for me. So I know there are always time zone issues, so you've got me. Try to call me at reasonable times. I'm in the Central Daylight Time. That's GMT -6. So try not to call me in the middle of the night. If there's ever any doubt, just text me first and see if I'm up, and then we'll go from there. There's also my Skype, although I don't think anyone has Skyped me in the past year from my trig classes, so whatever. If you're in Hattiesburg, you can stop by my office. The website, this is just the Canvas website, usm.instructure.com. That's also how I'll access my math lab where we do all of our work. Class meetings. So the way this works, every Tuesday I'll post a module. I didn't see a way actually to set the time in Canvas, but the idea is I'll just publish this on Canvas at 5 o'clock before I head out for the day. Let's see. So these are, I think I have this mentioned elsewhere in here, but I'll go ahead and say it now. This is an asynchronous class, which if you've taken some online classes, you may have heard those terms before. That means I publish the video and then you watch it at your convenience. I post the notes and whatnot, the assignments, and then you do them. We won't be meeting as a class. If you want to talk to me, we'll do it on an individual basis. I really like doing that. I like to get to know y'all. There's no reason to force everyone to meet at a certain time, particularly when, like I said, people from all over the world are taking this class. So there's my email address, and that's probably the worst way to get in touch with me. Right now I'm teaching 4 of my own classes. I'm subbing for 2 more, and I'm the service course coordinator at USM. Right now I'm in a lab with 126 students, and they all like to email me when something goes wrong. So I check my email every morning, but normally I don't get them through them all, so it may take a day or two to get to you. So if you have something pressing, just call or text. Those are when the times in my office, all my office hours there, but y'all are welcome to call me, in the evenings or whenever. Again, generally text me first, or just text me. I love text. Okay. Oh, this is a good one. If you have in our assignments, there's a button in the top right that says Ask My Instructor, and that will email me a link to the question you're working on. Now, Again, the issue is it may take me 48 hours or so to get through that email. But if you want to talk to me about a problem, you can take a picture of it, or you can do this Ask My Instructor and then text me, hey, I sent you this link. Can I call you and talk to you about this? And then I can pull it up and actually follow along with you. So this works really well in combination with a phone call, or Skype, or the the Canvas chat feature. So prereqs for the course description. I already talked about the asynchronous idea here. This is good. So I'll talk about what's in the module. So every module will cover, I'll just have a kind of a summary of what's in the module, what sections from the textbook are covered, any other announcements I have, and then I'll have a link to a video like this one that you can watch or actually go over the material. I'll also include a copy of the notes so you can print those out and follow along. And then the link to the My Math Lab assignments, that's actually built into Canvas. I'll show you that. Actually, I'll show it to you right now. Why not? So this is built into My Math Lab. Into Canvas. You see this link over on the left. That's where you'll go to access your assignment. Okay, so it's not built into the modules. That's okay. It's really easy to get to. So the supplies. Great tool here for all of your USM classes. Go to the USM bookstore website, the Barnes & Noble website. You can type in the class, type in the section, and it will pull up a list of all your textbooks. So a fantastic tool to find out, before you even get a syllabus, to find out what is asked, or what's covered in the class, or what's required for the class. There we go. So in our class, we're using this Trig book by Margaret Lyle. I actually have the 10th edition because the department has not given me a new one. I've looked at it when they came out with a new edition. I looked at it and see the sections are essentially the same. I don't think you'll have any problem using the 10th or 11th edition. The 10th edition is online. I made the course with that 10th edition. So if you want to reference the problem numbers, I'll show you how to do that. But the online copy of our textbook is the 10th edition. So you can, whatever problem numbers are referenced, you can pull up online. Okay, the textbook itself you could probably do without. The important thing is this My Math Lab Student Access Kit. So if you're buying it from USM, they typically bundle that along with the textbook. If it's cheaper, if it's significantly cheaper, you may want to buy just the access code. And again, if you have the access code, you can access the actual textbook online. Calculators, this is a big point. No graphing calculators. The one I recommend is this one right here, the TI-30XS Multiview. It's a really fantastic one. It displays things really nicely. And in all my videos, this is what I use. So if you want to follow along, that's what I'm doing. Class participation. So this is interesting since we don't have a synchronous course. So we don't all meet together. It's kind of strange sounding to have our participation policy. But in reality, this is it. I expect professionalism in this course. And what that means is logging in, kind of early in the week. Everyone has issues where you have to, you maybe you don't get around to it till the last day. But I include this section because for a few years I had people, I would get 50 emails on Monday night saying, how do I do this? If you're waiting to the last day every week, that's not very professional, which I'm sure many of y'all know if you've worked at any kind of job. If it's the day before your deadline and you're calling your boss to ask questions about it, it doesn't reflect well on you. It kind of comes off as you haven't been doing it all along like you kind of should do. Hold on just a second. Let me pause because I just had a student come in. Okay, sorry about that. I just had a student come in. Yeah, so professionalism. We got a lot to cover. Don't wait till the last minute. If you're constantly emailing me in the last day, we're just going to have to, have a little sit down and talk about it. Not a big deal, and again, don't freak out if you have to call me, the day this stuff is due, but this just cannot be a consistent practice for you. So, the way you're evaluated, the way you're getting scores, mainly it is homework. That's, I believe, 20%. I'll get to the specific breakdown in just a minute, but each week, for each module, you'll have a few homeworks. Some of them are just standard homework assignments. Other ones are a video and text assignment, which I'll talk about. What that is, that's actually a link to the videos from the publisher and the text. So if you want to look up the textbook, if you want to follow along the examples I mentioned, there will be a link in that video and text assignment. Now, about those, I don't particularly care if you sit down and watch all of those videos or read the text, but you have to at least open the assignment and click those links to get credit. It may seem like kind of annoying, but hey, it's free credit, and that way you'll know where these resources are when you actually do need them. Okay, the biggest chunk of your test comes from your biggest chunk of your grade comes from your tests. We've got 3 total. 2 of them are just standard test, and then we have a comprehensive final at the end. And again, that's in my math lab. Other stuff about it. I don't do a drop test, but I will replace your lowest test score with the final exam score if it's higher. If that will help you, I'll do that. Quizzes. There aren't a lot of quizzes in this section in this class, but there are a few. Other things. Again, we may have to have a little one-on-one chat if there's some issue. You're constantly, if you're not doing your assignments or something going on, we may talk about it. And I've got an idea for some projects. Just a small thing. I like to do a lot of projects. I do a lot of woodworking with trig, but there are all kinds of great little experiments, historic experiments that just rely on trig. All of our early understanding of the world that relied on mathematics did so using trig. That's how the size of the Earth was first discovered, the distance between the Earth and the Sun, things like that. It's all very simple trig, and we can. I've got some project ideas for that, but that's not a big deal. You see, the grade breakdown. It's mostly from these tests. 20% for each test, 15% homework, and that final exam is worth a whole lot, 40%. So it's worth 2 test grades, and it can replace your lowest test grade, so that can be worth a whole lot. And we use a 10-point grade scale, so you can see that breakdown over there. And finally, for the grades, I'll drop your 3 lowest homework assignments. Proctoring test, I won't talk about a whole lot of this now. The idea is you're going to go through this website, usm.edu/lec/proctoring. You will do all the test proctoring arrangement through them. They do accept ProctorU and the other online proctors, but that will be done through them. And all that information is on that website. Now, if you're in Hattiesburg, I know we have a few people who are commuting or just live in Hattiesburg. If you talk to me, I'll set you up with our proctor here. Everyone else, you go through the proctoring website. Okay. Late assignments, I have the option, and I went ahead and set it for y'all. If you don't make it by the due date, if you don't finish your homework, you can still work on problems for half credit. So that's kind of nice. If you miss a test or something, you can contact me, or you can contact this. If there's anything like verification, document verification, that's through this the Student Ombudsman Services. Okay. So I've got all the objectives here listed, and I know this is a long video. It's a lot of stuff to soak in. This is pretty much everything we do in this class. There's not a whole lot to it. Trig is something that can be very straightforward. The main thing people have trouble with in trig is their algebra. Trying to remember the algebra they need to get through this. Essentially, we've got SOHCAHTOA, if you've ever heard that, your definitions of sine, cosine, and tangent, and that's the majority of trig there. We use those definitions to solve right triangles. There are some certain angles there, 0, 30, 45, 60, 90, that we deal with more than anything else. So you should know the trig function values of all those. And I'll show you how to do that. But that's the big thing I want you to memorize. Know what your trig functions are, know those values for these certain angles. We use those. This is kind of complicated. We take those and we instead of just working with triangles, we actually put them in the coordinate plane, the same one you used in algebra, and that allows us to graph these functions. So I won't go into great detail about this. One thing I will say is I'll give you the basics of stuff. We'll talk about the basics you'll need for physics. Physics, at least the part that relates to trig, is also pretty straightforward, so we'll look at some physics stuff in here. And you can read through USM's academic honesty policy. You don't need me to read it to you. Same, we've got the American with Disabilities Act policy. So this is, again, from the university. If you've got a disability that qualifies, you will contact this office, and then they will contact me, and we'll set up a meeting to talk about it. Technology requirements. This comes from our our online learning center. I just copied their stuff. The only thing that I would say is check your USM email. If you're having trouble in Canvas, try a different browser. So Firefox works really well. The only thing that I know doesn't work well is Safari. If you use a Mac, Safari tends to not work, so just don't do it. I'll show you how to fix it if you're having any trouble as well. Okay, so there's our syllabus. I know it's long and tedious, but hey, y'all can at least fast forward, right? Or skip ahead. The schedule's on here, so I'll click on that next. I'll wait for it to load. Oh, it's fast. So you can see each module is posted. That says Blackboard, it should say Canvas. So you can see which modules, what date they'll be posted, and what's in those modules. So this week we're posting Module 1 with these 3 sections, and so on and so forth. Module structure, that's not a big deal. I'm going to walk you through it. I do want to walk you through the test info sheet. Again, this is just more information. There's that same website from earlier, the proctoring website. And here's the document I put together with your test dates and stuff on it, and instructions for the test. So you can pretty much ignore that. You may want to look at the dates, but the actual instructions about testing you can probably put off for a little while. But that information is there. I'm not going to open this. Okay. Alright, I think we're good. We can skip into the modules. So right now you've got this Getting Started module, and that's all the same stuff from the home page, so you can minimize that. And then we've got Module 1, and you can see the kind of breakdown. I've got the goals, or objectives, the notes, and these 3 videos that are on there. And they're kind of long, so you may want to look at the beginning where I give kind of an overview, skip around through there, try out the homework. Particularly 2.4 I know is a very long video, so you may want to pick and choose what parts to watch. And there's the information on the My Math Lab assignments. It's a little bit more detailed. Oh, expected to spend 20 minutes. Ooh, I'm going to take that line out there. Okay. But just a general idea about how these work, you can save assignments and things like that. If you have any questions about how the assignments work, there's a lot more information there. Okay. But yeah, so I would look through the goals and objectives, download the notes, and then start checking out those videos. Man, I gotta change that date too. Okay. Alright, now last on our list, I want to look at the MyLab and Mastering. So this is how you're going to log in to do your actual work. You're going to click that, and this page will open up for you. And I would suggest you click the MyMathLab with Pearson eText Course Home button. So I'll click that, and then you'll get this prompt to sign this license agreement. So you'll accept that. And then you're going to be prompted to create an account. So you'll click Create, and you'll set up an account. Now you'll probably get an error here. Let's see what happens when I try it. So most everyone gets this error, whether you have an account or not. So if you know you don't have an account, if you know you've never created one before, just say, okay, this is clearly wrong. I'm going to close it, and just keep on going. And go through your account. Now, I'm not going to go fill all this out because I actually do have an account. You'll click Create an Account, and it'll take you to a page that asks you to type in your access code. Oh gosh, I wish I could. Let me pause this for a second. Okay, so I just finished that last page with creating an account, and then it takes me to this. If you have an access code, you'll click where it says access code, and you'll enter that. If you don't, you can buy one right here, apparently, so that's new. And if you don't have yours yet, you want to do down at the bottom, it says get temporary access without payment for 14 days. So that'll be good through September 5th. So you can just click that, and I'll go ahead and do that. Are you sure you want to use temporary access? Yes. And then it takes you to the course. So if you have yours, go ahead and type it in. If not, do the temporary access. Okay. Now, if you actually entered an ID, if you actually entered a code, you probably want to print this or take a screenshot or something to get that order ID number. But I don't care. I use temporary access. Who cares? And then we'll go into the course. Okay, let me pause this once more. Okay, once you go into the course itself, you should be greeted with this page. You can also run the browser check from here if you want to double check and make sure everything works. Or if you're, in honesty, I would ignore it unless you're having trouble. Then you could run that browser check. What we'll look at, the two main things that are important here are the Assignments tab on the left and the Gradebook tab. Gradebook gives you a nice breakdown of all your scores, so I'll click on that. And it will list anything you've done. Right now I haven't done anything. And right here, kind of towards the top, it says Show Calculation. That will show you the breakdown, what you've gotten on your homework, quizzes, tests, etc. So it's a great tool later on in the semester. The big one that you'll need to start off is the Assignments button on the left. So click that. This should show what assignments are available and when they're due. So right now we've got these two assignments. So I had notes on 5.1, but those are preliminary. So there's not actually an assignment to go along with that. Just 2.1 and 2.4. And on the left, you've got the due dates for that. So they're all due on the 28th, which is next Monday. Yes, at midnight. There's no time limit on these, or there's no limited number of attempts. Once you start it, you'll see you get a gradebook score for it, and that will show up. So video and text, I'll show you one of these. Again, it's just a list of the different assignments. not a list, the videos available, and also a link to the textbook. So when you click that, this is loading the textbook. I'm not even going to wait for it to load. You see, clicking on it gave me a check mark. You need to do that for all of these, and at least click on these, or you won't get credit for this. So you would need to go through and click those. It's kind of annoying. I know it can be tedious, but it is essentially free credit, so please do it. Next up, I want to show you the homework assignment. So there's 2.1. The first thing you'll probably notice is it's kind of short. Most of these assignments are very short. I'll click on one of these. The idea is here, you should rework these things until you're very comfortable doing these. So this is find the exact value for sine, cosine, and tangent. If you remember your trig functions rules, sine is the opposite over the hypotenuse. Yeah, so it would be 60 divided by 109, and that's it. That should be all I need to do. Okay, it tells me to type an integer or a fraction. Since my answer is a fraction, I'm just going to type a fraction. So now what I want to do now, down at the bottom it says check answer. But let me answer that. Okay. So the correct answer, I believe, is 60 over 109. I'm going to check that. Well done. Next, cosine is the adjacent over hypotenuse, so 91 divided by 109. I'm going to enter this incorrectly. 90 divided by 109, just a typo. And I'll do check answer, and you see it tells me some feedback. It tells me what I did wrong. Gives me another chance. I don't know, maybe I changed it. Yeah. And I'll check it one last time. So now this didn't work. It's going ahead and mark that part of the question correct. I'll get the last one right. 60 over 91. Okay. So I did that problem, but I don't have full credit. You can just hit similar question and rework that same problem. So you're going to have to rework all 3 points, but you'll get full credit for the problem. Other stuff, up in the top right corner, it says question help. This has some great tools to help you with these problems. The first one I would say is the help me solve this, because what this will do is walk you through one step at a time. Right. What is the definition of sine? So that's telling you, okay, I need to know what the definition of sine is. You can look it up or whatever, I guess, randomly guess. So that's opposite of our hypotenuse. So let's see what the length of the side opposite of theta is. Well, that would be 12. The hypotenuse is the length of 37. So sine is what? Sine of theta. Well, since it's opposite of our hypotenuse, and we just figured out opposite. The opposite side was 12, and the hypotenuse, they just tell me is 37. Well, that's got to be my answer. So there you go. Just a tool to help you with these problems, and you can, see it keeps on going through all of these. Okay. Other things you may want to look at, we may not need it right away, but down at the bottom they've got these different tools for like entering exponents or roots or fractions. It's all down here. Ooh, more. So now you can, if you hit more, now you can see the different Greek letters and whatnot. Okay. Other stuff, if you want to, you can save this. It'll save the work you've done. And since I didn't do anything, there's nothing saved. Okay. Then I can go back to this assignment page and I can see, well, right now I have a 37.5 for my video and text assignment I started, and a 0 for the homework that I didn't really do anything with. Okay, so there's our brief overview of Canvas, MyMathLab, getting logged in, the syllabus, everything you hopefully need to know to get started in this course. If not, please give me a call. So, thank you for sticking with me this long if you made it. I will see you in the next video.